Good morning, it's Edna here live with Mindset Monday, and today we're going to talk about, are you hiding in your comfort zone? And again, remember, if you need my help scaling your real estate portfolio, reach out to me at ednakeep.com or 90daysto5k.com. So are you hiding in your comfort zone? So first of all, let's define comfort zone. That is where you are that feels comfortable. The saying goes that in order to grow, you need to move outside your comfort zone. It doesn't need to be 100 feet outside your comfort zone, but it has to be something that stretches you. It stretches you to be better, do better, and that's what gets you out of your comfort zone, and that's where growth happens. I've heard the saying before, if every time I'm stretching out of my comfort zone, I know my income is going to increase. So think of it that way. And are you hiding in your comfort zone? Well, generally, if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're not learning anything new, not doing anything new, you're hiding in your comfort zone, whatever that happens to be. Just recently, I had the pleasure of being on a podcast for Mitch Stephen, and, very interesting fellow, so much so that when I was done, I went and bought his book. And it's so good. I think it's called 1,000 Houses, something like that. Anyways, he's got a few out with that title, and then it's kind of his story and some story of stuff that he's went through. And, he's so interesting that I asked him if he would be on my podcast as well. So watch for that in a couple weeks. And in the meantime, I'm reading his book, and very, very interesting stuff. And you know what? He's done a ton of owner financing. And he started out in the long-term buy and hold, much like we do. And then just the way that things worked out for him, a lot of the properties that he was buying didn't qualify for regular financing at the bank. So he goes on to tell us how he's financed thousands of these homes. So it was really, really interesting. And then I haven't even finished it, but it was so good. I've already texted over a couple things that he pointed out when he was going through the process that I thought that my team members would find interesting. But this fellow never stayed in his comfort zone, I tell you. He was always stretching and pushing and totally financially free now, gets to do what he wants. One of the things that I really loved about his book was how he talks about he's taken or networked his way to success. He said, the partnerships I've formed have been absolutely amazing. He said, I would rather do 10 50-50 partnership deals than 500% ownership deals, because he says every single time I learn something from partners. And I went, wow, I love that concept. We've dealt a lot with that. And win with an open mind. Where can you push yourself out of your comfort zone? What are some things that you need to take on? I know some of my students that are on right now. Good morning, Walter. Walter's pushed himself out of his comfort zone recently by doing videos, and that's so exciting to watch. He talked about a $500 deal that he got. So if you haven't watched that, go watch it. I love hearing these stories from my students, because you know what, people? This stuff is happening right in your backyard right now. People are doing deals with none of their own money. They're making things happen, like none of your own money. $500 is pretty much none of your own money, and this fellow, like I was just telling you that I read about, done tons and tons and tons of deals with none of his own money. He's gotten creative, and he's done deals where he's asked for no payments for 8 months because he needed to spend his money on renovations and stuff like that, and he got it. He had one guy that approached him, and he had what did he call him? Anyway, he had a tenant that was being a big bad guy. This deal actually came to him. It wasn't his tenant. He was collecting all the rents from the other tenants. He had a fourplex, and he was collecting all the other rents and by just intimidating the renters. They said, you pay me your rent, or I'm gonna whatever to you. So all the tenants were paying their rent to him. This owner came to him and said, I need you to take over my building. I can't deal with these guys. And that was the one that he ended up getting for really cheap. I can't remember what it was, but also with no payments for 8 months. He says, I need to kick these guys all out because none of them are paying us, and they're supposed to be. I need to renovate this place. And then he told the story, and I love this part. He says, so I walk into this guy's yard, and there's a baseball bat and a basketball. And he said, it's like 100 degrees in Texas. And he says, and this guy is sitting in his nice air-conditioned unit. I could hear the air conditioner just cranked. He said, I walked in with the bat and the basketball, and I handed it to him. And he said, he says, it's nice and cool in here. It feels so good. But he says, you know what? I just bought this place, and I know your air conditioner is not working properly, so I'm going to fix it. So he grabs a baseball bat and starts hammering on the air conditioner, and the guy goes, no, that's not fixing it. He says, yes, it's fixing it. Fixing it the same way you fix my rents, and don't get my rents to me, he says. And he smashed the air conditioner till it wasn't working. He said, needless to say, the guy was gone the next day. And I love these stories because I'm always scared to do this myself. But I tell my property manager, I'd love to do this kind of stuff. You know, when people are squatting in your properties and, you know, like this guy was, not even just getting his own rent for free, but stealing the rent from the other tenants, intimidating them into paying it. He needed to go. And he made a comment which I thought was really interesting, and this is what I sent out to my team. They said, you know, he says, I figured the guy obviously was a criminal. So he said, I just said, if you're not out of here, I'm going to be calling the cops. And he said that was one of the things besides the air conditioning that got him to move rather quickly. And so that was what I sent over. I don't know if it works in our area, but let's check it out. If they got a criminal record, maybe that intimidation process is right back, as opposed to doing all the steps that we need to do. And don't take my advice on that. I'm just saying I'm finding that out. I don't know if we can do it. So you know what? Those are things outside your comfort zone. But you know what? Learning is the key to growing in any endeavor that you're doing. I was just on another podcast this morning, and a fellow who does syndicated mortgages in the States, and he was just asking me what was new and exciting for me. And I said, you know, one of the things that's new and exciting for us is the Airbnb options that we're putting with our buildings. Like in January, we had 1. We now have 7 live Airbnbs on the, or well, actually 6 live, one pending, just about ready to go. And it's so exciting to be able to collect twice the rents you'd usually collect. And, you know, some people don't like it. Some people are scared of it. I've had students say to me, you know, Edna, I'd love to do the rent-to-rent model, but there's a lot of owners that are scared of it. And I said, I'm not scared of it. Bring it on. What properties do you want to look at? I'll show you all my properties. You tell me which ones you want. So we started out with a house with him, which is really, really cool. And that's stepping out of our comfort zone. But you know, he studied Airbnb. He's been doing Airbnbs in our market, I think he said, for 3 years now. He's one of my first students that I knew that was involved. And he said so many landlords won't rent to him under the sublet clause. And I said, I'm not scared of that at all, so let's do it. And this fellow mortgage syndicator from the U.S. had not heard of that, so he was so happy to have me on a show because I was sharing some of the things that we were doing. And he said, definitely my listenership will be interested in things that you're doing. So, you know, if you're following Airbnb and you start to think, wow, yeah, I don't want to get a saturated market and different stuff like that. You know what? This is new, people. There's a lot of opportunity here before we have to worry about anything being saturated. In Regina alone, we're considered an A- rating, which is amazing. Those things are getting out of your comfort zone. It's doing something different. You know, we're experiencing a little bit higher vacancy in our area. It's a way to get around the vacancy rate, and why not try stuff? Whatever it happens to be. I mean, what's a worst case scenario? It doesn't work. It doesn't work, people. Then you start over. So get out of your comfort zone, do something different today, and let's make this happen, because hiding in your comfort zone is not what's going to get you ahead. So take some steps outside. It might be a step here and a step there. It might be a two-step. And do something different, because hiding in your comfort zone is not going to get you where you want to go. So hopefully you got value out of my talk today. And like I said, if you need my help scaling your real estate portfolio, reach out to me at ednakeep.com. Have a really, really good day, and we'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye for now.